Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll get this roof happening. Once again, we'll go to our section that we created, remembering that this section encompassed grid X1. In my particular case it did anyway. So I want to construct a roof sitting on top of here. Now the top of the roof surface, remembering our sketches that we've done in class, I'll just clear everything there. The first bolt hole in the cleats that hold on to the roofing purlins are 55mm off the rafter. The distance of the holes between the centres of the holes on the support cleats is 60mm, so half of that's 30. So if I do 55 plus 30, I'm now at the centre point of the purlins. The purlins are 152mm deep, so half of a purlin is 76. So plus 76 equals that. And the thickness of the roof sheeting that we're going to use, I'm going to propose we use spandeck, Glycite spandeck. It's 24mm thick, so I'll add 24mm to that. Now these little calculations that we're doing along the way, you'll have to support that in your job file with some notes on that. So 185mm. I'm going to, in this section view here, I'm then going to go back to home. I'm looking for the roof command. Here it is, and I'm going to drop down the arrow beside roof, and I want to do a roof by extrusion. The plane, I drop that down, and that's X1 in my particular case. My section line is looking at grid X1, but it really doesn't matter what level it goes in at. And I'm going to use this as my pick line tool. So I'll use my pick line tool, but I'll do it at an offset of 185 because that's what we just calculated. That's right. So with my pick line set at an offset of 85, I'm going to zoom right in on the top of the rafter, that line there. Yep, and that's my first line. I'll do one to the other side as well. So that's offset 185 there. And then I might try, I think it's probably a tangent end arc. I think I'm going to try for that, and I'm going to click on that first endpoint there and that next endpoint there, and that creates a nice beautiful arc that's tangential to those two ends. I need to now extend out this roof into a gutter area through here, so I'm just going to temporarily draw a line out in space until it comes and says perpendicular to that line. Then I'm going to move that line out to the end of the rafter, and I'm going to extend that. If that was the end of the rafter being in the fascia as well on the end of that rafter, I probably then need to extend another 100mm into the gutter. So if I was to do an offset from that line at a distance of 100, I can offset that line to 100 and then escape and deselect that line, and then if I did a trim into corner of that line to that line, this roof shape would be the right shape now. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mirror to do that to the same on the other side. So temporarily to mirror, I'll go back to home and put a reference plane in, and I'm purposely not putting it right central in the middle of the building. I'm then going to go back to annotate and do a line dimension from grid line to reference plane to grid line. Drop that dimension somewhere, click on EQ, and then I'm just going to pick up this little line that we drew, and I'm looking for a context menu for mirror there. I'll just go it again, escape out of everything, pick up the line. I need the mirror command to pop up, and maybe it's not going to do it for me, so I might have to go back to create extrusion properties. Oh yeah, just go back to create extrusion properties, click on the mirror, and then pick that reference plane that we just created. So now I've just got another copy of this over here that I can trim into corner. Escape out of all of that, then once that's trimmed into corner, delete that line, delete the other line on the other side, because all we want is the curve of the roof. So I'm just going to go finish roof. Just check roof properties before I do. Okay, drop down the type of roof. We don't want it to be 150. We'll edit the type, and we'll duplicate it, and we'll call this one Spandek, SPANDEK, and edit the structure of that to have a thickness of 24. Click OK to that, and OK to that, and OK to that, and now I can finish roof. And it's created the roof for me. You can see what it's done if you click to a 3D view. Now, it created the roof for me, but it didn't really know where in relation to the grid I wanted it to go. So it's placed it way too far. Just click that back. It's placed it in the wrong position, but we can have a look at that in site plan now. So if I go to site plan, especially if that's selected, so select it in the 3D view, and then while it's selected, go to site plan. View range, we'll have to fix the view range of the site plan up. So while we're here, right click, view properties, and scroll down a bit until you find view range, and let's change the top to something like 200 meters and the cut plane to 200 meters. Leave the other two the same, click OK to that, and now all of a sudden we can see the roof. Now I want to extend the roof with a 600mm overhang past the grids. So the best way of doing that, from the home menu, reference plane, place a reference plane, then while its temporary dimension popped up as you placed it, you can move the witness line by clicking on the middle of the square blue and changing that dimension. So what you can do then is click on the roof that we've created, and then you can drag that end grip until it snaps onto that reference plane and let go. You've used the reference plane now, so you can delete it. Let's put another reference plane in. Now this one went 3x7. So there, move the temporary dimension grip, change it to 600. Deselect everything by escaping, select the grip on the roof and take it to, alright, I'll temporarily take it to there, and I'll zoom up and I'll have another go. Okay, oops, try it again. Okay, let that go there. The reference plane's done its work, so I can now delete it. Okay, I'm going to pause the video to let you catch up, and the next stage what we're going to do is we're going to chop a little bit out of that roof to suit this other office roof over the top here.